Only on 5 tonight. L.A. County Sheriff's deputies charged with the responsibility of upholding the law and protecting us. But are those deputies holding the line or crossing it?
Carolyn Costello here now with the latest installment in her ongoing series, The Gang Behind the Badge. Carolyn.
Micah, after airing our investigation focusing on a close-knit clique of sheriff's deputies who call themselves the 3000 Boys, we received so many calls and emails offering more information about the gang-like behavior of other deputies. Now tonight, the story of another inmate beaten on the 3rd or 3000th floor of Men's Central Jail.
He was beaten repeatedly with a flashlight. And that broke his ankle in 2 places.
Attorney Virginia Keeney is talking about the beating that her client, inmate Michael Olguin, received in late 2009 at the hands of sheriff's deputies on the 3rd or 3000th floor of Men's Central Jail.
Severe injuries to his left knee that it required reconstructive surgery. A huge gaping wound on his forehead, wounds over his eyes that required stitches.
Why was he beaten? Keeney says though inmates are entitled by law to at least 3 showers a week, Olguin hadn't been allowed a single shower in 2 weeks, and he had the nerve to ask about it.
The deputy who had handcuffed him said, "I'll show you why you're not getting a shower," and took him to a secluded part of the tier and began to beat him.
Several deputies are named in Olguin's lawsuit against the Sheriff's Department. The suit alleges that deputies named Luviano and Rico began the beating. Then another named David Ortega joined in.
He immediately kicked Mr. Olguin, who was lying on the floor, as hard as he could with his boots in the back.
While he was on the ground?
While he was down on the ground, he was handcuffed the entire time on his face.
KTLA has previously reported on Deputy Ortega in our ongoing series. Ortega is one of the 3000 Boys, a group of deputies who work the 3rd floor of Men's Central Jail, who sport gang-like tattoos and flash gang-like signs. It was Ortega who was arrested for, then pleaded no contest to, picking a fight with a bouncer in a Fullerton bar.
He said he was going to beat the crap out of me. He was going to leave me in a pool of my own blood, leave me there to die.
And it was Ortega, along with other deputies, accused in the beating of another inmate, Evans Tutt.
I repeatedly got kicked and hit with flashlights and whatever the deputies can hit me with.
Keeney says these cases are just the tip of an ugly iceberg.
We have, over the years, received scores of calls from inmates and their family members saying that they were being attacked on the 3000th floor.
When we spoke previously to Sheriff Lee Baca about allegations of inmate abuse by the 3000 Boys, including the behavior of Deputy Ortega, Baca stood by his deputies.
No, I don't believe that any deputy will ever get involved in a fight with an inmate that the inmate hasn't started. And if we find someone that's assaulting inmates that didn't initiate the assault, then we're going to take swift and corrective actions.
Action was taken against Ortega, not for his treatment of inmates, but for his arrest in the Fullerton bar incident. Ortega was demoted from deputy to custody assistant. Today, he continues to work in the Sheriff's Department with the inmate population.
Was the demotion of Deputy Ortega sufficient punishment?
Absolutely not. I mean, once they had the arrest of a deputy sheriff, he should have been relieved of duty and placed on administrative leave.
Keeney contends not enough is being done to supervise and monitor deputies' treatment of inmates.
Inside Men's Central, there are no video cameras on the 3000 floor. So that means there are fewer video cameras than in your average Walmart.
What are the images of deputies throwing gang-like hand signs and having tattoos? What does that say to you?
It is clearly intended to intimidate the inmates who see it. It's intended to say, you know, we're a gang and our loyalty is to each other, and we'll place that above our loyalty to the law. It seems quite clear that Sheriff Baca and the county is permitting a gang culture to exist within the jails, and that there's a culture of violence that exists in our jails.
And the Sheriff's Department and its deputies in court papers have denied any wrongdoing with regard to Olguin's beating. A department spokesman declined to comment to us whether any disciplinary action has been taken in this case, and our calls to the attorneys for the accused deputies were not returned. Olguin sued against the Sheriff's Department, scheduled for trial in November. Micah, Cher.
You know, Carolyn, they mentioned video cameras. Why aren't there any video cameras installed? It would seem simple enough to be put on the floor where these deputies are allegedly acting like gang members.
Absolutely. It's certainly been discussed, and it's a viable option. The problem is Men's Central Jail is so old. It's antiquated. You would need a camera around every corner. They're just rows of cells, not like the new jails where they have sort of circular modules. So it's been talked about, but there's also talk of tearing down Men's Central Jail because it's so antiquated. So do they want to invest money into a jail that really a lot of people say should be torn down?
You'll stay on it. Terrific reporting,
Absolutely
Carolyn.
will.
Thank
Thanks.
you.